Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It's good to see y'all this morning. Please say hey. Would love to hear from you this morning. Excited to kind of go over this topic. Now, today, let's talk about tell me about yourself questions. So I will tell you this. I can tell how well an interview is going to go on how well you answer, hey, tell me about yourself. Now, for the most part, I start all my interviews with saying, hey, tell me about yourself. Now, I will tell you this. The biggest mistake I see people do is that they are too long-winded and they give me their entire life story. Like, I don't care about your first job, or I don't care about where you were born or any of that stuff, right? I just don't. You need to frame the about me question and prep for this as you head into a conversation, right? So if you're interviewing with me for a role at Torque, you would probably need to pull in any sort of community activities you've done, about why you're passionate about community, et cetera, et cetera. I think you need to have multiple about me statements. I think you need to have a tell me about yourself question to when you're networking with somebody at a conference generally. I think you need a tell me about yourself question of, hey, when it comes to this job, tell me about yourself. I think you need a general about me statement. That's kind of fun. So for me, I have my general about me question, my answer. So my general about me is, hey, I've been in the staffing space for 14 years. I've helped over 1,000 engineers find jobs in the course of their career directly, probably way more than that indirectly. I've been heads down leading communities for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm currently VP of Global Community, $30 billion brand with Ronstadt Digital, where I help drive and build communities across the globe. That is a really, really good general about me question. Now, I'm interviewing for VP of community role somewhere else. I would say, hey, we have 8 people with the Torque tattoo tattooed on their body. We've been able to drive active rates on the platform from 4.6 to 6.2 over the course of 2 months. We've been able to grow the Discord from 0 to over 3,000 members with an average of 10,000 messages sent a month. We've set up all social media channels from 0 and have been able to garner hundreds of thousands of impressions over the course of the last year. So again, you need to know the context of the conversation you are going into to answer that about me question. And if you don't have a lot of context, you need to do some research. And again, one of the things that really helps people with the about me question, it all goes back to the professional summary portion on your resume. It all coincides. It all links together. Another thing too, I would keep it about 45 seconds. And I will always say, is there anything else I didn't answer that you would like to know? Another issue that I see a lot of people struggle with when it comes to tell me about yourself is that they don't know how to land the plane, meaning they don't know how to wrap it up. And that's one of the key things. If you're talking like, hey, my name's Taylor, I have 14 years of staffing experience. I've led communities for the last 5 years. I'm specifically building community for the world's largest staffing company, Ronstadt Digital. Let me know if there's anything else I need to answer for you. So for me, it's that let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to expound on or answer for you is a great way to land a plane. The problem is everybody trails off. Be clear, be confident, keep it about 45 seconds. I would also do research on who you're interviewing with and try to pull in a fun fact in your about me statement. I think this is a great way to break the ice, right? So for example, let's say I'm interviewing for somebody that went to Auburn. I would literally say, hey, my name's Taylor. I've been in the staffing space for 14 years. I've been really focused on building communities for the last 5 years. I'm currently leading a community with the world's largest staffing company brand named Ronstadt. And I'm a big Gamecock football guy, went to University of South Carolina. For me, what that does is the person who you're interviewing with, if they went to an SEC school, they're most likely going to be a football fan. And you're immediately going to start talking about football. I would bring that into my about me statement. Because again, what that does is I will tell you this, as humans, we are going to bond over similar experiences. If you are interviewing with somebody who has kids, the most endearing thing to bond over is kids. It's like for me, if you're interviewing with me and you saw my email newsletter and you're interviewing with me next week, you can be like, hey, I have 2 kids right now. I see you have a 3rd on the way. Pump for you. So then that most likely we're going to dive into raising kids. We're going to make a comment about a strong-willed child. People want to bond over shared suffering. I say this all the time. If you can make the interview less an interview and more of a conversation, you have won. Now, sometimes interviewers are not fun. So there's going to be times where you can't break them them down. But for me, when it comes to adding a personal touch, it breaks things down. And this is why I talk about adding a line on your resume for hobbies now. 10 years ago, I would say don't put hobbies. It doesn't matter. But now in the sea of AI resumes and fake profiles everywhere, adding hobbies to your resume and bringing it into your interview is a great way to break down walls. It is such a great way. And then what happens is then you spend half the interview talking about kids or talking about ice hockey. And all of a sudden, your 30-minute interview goes into like 10, 15 minutes talking about your personal things. But here's the deal. You have to practice this. When I say practice, I mean open up your phone, turn it on video, and talk to your phone over and over again and rewatch yourself. I will tell you this, it is going to be painful watching yourself, but you're going to pick up on a lot of your tics. Another thing too is ums and ands and so's. Like, you can't do that. You have to be clear and concise. And I think a lot of people get into, hey, tell me about yourself. And they're like, well, I've done this, or well, I've done that. And so also one of my biggest pet peeves is things like that. Like, stop using the word phrase things like that, because what does that mean? What is things like? What is that? Right? And I feel like a lot of us just use filler words because we're not comfortable. That's why if you open up your phone and rehearse it over and over again, you're going to get better at it, and it's going to be more clear and concise. Again, around 45 seconds or so. So again, to recap, keep your about me statement 45 seconds. Finish your statement and land the plane by saying, is there any other things I need to expound on for you or you would like to know? That's a great way to end it. Frame the question as it relates to the job and the position you're interviewing for, and don't give so much context. I only need to know about you because, again, if I'm talking to you about a job, I need to know as it relates to your background, as it relates to the job. Tie in maybe a fun personal fact and keep it clear, concise, record yourself, and do not use filler words. So that's all I got today. If you have any other suggestions on topics I should cover, please DM them to me. Text me on my number. Otherwise, I appreciate y'all showing up today. It means a lot. I hope y'all have a great day, great Friday, and a great weekend. And we will see y'all on Monday with Emma's show. Again, I truly believe the stuff we talk about works, and it is applicable and practical, and no one else is talking about this stuff. So would love to see you in the Torque Discord, torque.dev/Discord for those of you who are listening in the future. Otherwise, appreciate y'all so much. Peace.